College World Series in Omaha, Nebraska. We're now joined by New Orleans Breakers head football coach Larry Fedora. He joins us on Sikkim 365 Radio and 365 Sports. Larry, thanks for your time. USFL back. You're a part of the inaugural or return of the league and also a playoff team. The win against Tampa Bay, how important was that, and what was that moment like for you?
It was a big win for our team. That was one of our, our goal at the beginning of this season was to win the championship, and to do that, you had to get in the playoffs, and so it was a big win for our team, and excited about it.
Larry, is winning, no matter what level, wherever you are, the same?
Yeah, there's no doubt. I don't care if you're flipping a coin or playing tiddlywinks. I mean, winning is pretty dang important.
I saw where Zach Smith, who was at Baylor and, of course, then went to Tulsa, was a part of that game on Saturday. Looked like he had a chance to play a little bit more than he has this year.
Yeah, Zach's been our backup quarterback all year, and so we've brought him off the bench usually in the third series just to get him some experience and some playing time. And each time he's done that, he's done a tremendous job. He did that the other day. I mean, he was 5 of 6, I think, on his series, and then went down with a shoulder injury.
Coach, how much did coming out of college football and into this new professional league, not only as a coach but as a general manager, as somebody who has to pick the talent, knowing that you probably were in on recruiting a lot of these guys, or at least knew of them and kind of knew their careers, help you in building this roster this year when you guys were in the draft and everything you had to do?
I think probably the best thing for me was I didn't know what I didn't know. The majority of my staff are college coaches or they've coached for over 30 years in the profession. And so we did what we knew, which was, a lot of these players we recruited. If we hadn't recruited them, we got on the phone with their college coaches that we all knew to find out the ins and outs on these guys. And that's how we went about putting together a team when we got into the draft.
What's it been like to just see the extra opportunity that's out there, that it's not NFL or bust for everybody involved?
Yeah, this league has a great place. It really does. First of all, they proved that with the TV ratings and everything, they can be successful. It provides an opportunity to guys that are right on the edge of the NFL. We've got guys on our team that have played 3 or 4 years in the league. We've got guys that were in the league, got hurt, and got popped out, and are showing that they're injury-free. They'll have the opportunity to go back. It's been great for the coaches that have maybe some of them just in between situations. So there's definitely a place for this league, and I think it's proven, and it's been a lot of fun.
Larry, you were out of the game for almost a year. How important was it for you just to get back on the field yourself with a whistle?
Well, I'll be honest with you. I loved that year. I spent more time with my family. Still lived in Waco, and my family's from College Station. My wife's family's in the Waco area, and so for that year, I got to be a normal person for the first time as an adult. And so, I'll be honest with you, it was a lot of fun. I enjoyed every bit of it.
When they called you, was Daryl Johnston involved? Who called you about the job in New Orleans? How did that work out?
Yeah, Brian Woods is the one who called me. Brian Woods is the executive director of the league, and he's the one that initially called me. And to be honest with you, I wasn't just, raring to go. They had to do some convincing. And, the biggest thing for me was, I didn't want to be a part of something that was just going to be a circus. It had to be real football. And they proved that it was, and it's been great football. It really has. It's been really good football. The players have been, it's all about the players. And the players are the ones, you see it in their eyes. They just want to play. They want to get coached. They want to get better. They want to develop. And so that's been the fun part about this whole league.
When you weren't coaching and you enjoyed that time, obviously time with your family was huge. Was there anything in particular you got to do also that you normally don't have time to do as a coach?
Well, I got to spend time with my family. I got to go to Parents Weekend in Tuscaloosa. My daughter's a sophomore there. I've got a ranch about 90 miles west of Fort Worth. I got to spend time on the ranch. I got to work on the ranch. I got to, just spend time with my wife. I mean, it was an amazing year. It really was.
Does this league, the way that the schedule is in the spring, and I know that you guys are going to continue scouting and working all year long as you try to build the league, but does this give you a little bit more freedom to do those things? Maybe not as much as you did in the year that you were off, but at least to do them a little bit more?
I'm going to do as little as possible with this football team when this league is done on July 3rd until I go back to the next season. I'm going to do exactly what I was doing when I was done for the year. You know, when I was off for the year, I'm going to spend time with my family. I'm going to hunt and I'm going to fish and I'm going to play some golf and I'm going to spend some time at George's and with Sammy Sotrano, and I'm going to have a great time.
Larry, obviously the last year, the year at Baylor, did not go well, and that's what led to the off year before this opportunity. How important was it for you to come back and have success? Because 2020 did not go very well for Baylor at all.
Yeah, that was not important for me at all. That I don't base my success off what happened the last year at Baylor. And let me tell you, I think Dave Aranda's done an unbelievable job and is a tremendous coach. And Baylor is set for the future with him and the staff that he's put together. I have nothing but great things to say about Baylor University. And unfortunately, I didn't do a good enough job there in that pandemic season. And so we struggled. But I think maybe we set we kind of set a base for what was going to come in the future. And I'm proud of that fact. You know, I wouldn't change anything the way we did it that year. It is what it is. But, I really don't. I don't really look at that as a failure. I really don't. That's just a learning experience.
But those things do. I mean, you said it's a learning experience. Even though it was rough, does having to do things on Zoom and having to find new ways to coach and get across to people make you a better coach? Because now, even though you won't have to do that situation again, you've challenged your mind enough to where you have to be an innovative thinker and deal with situations that may not always come.
Well, first of all, I didn't know what Zoom was before then. So that tells you something right there. So, I learned how to do Zoom. And then, when we drafted these players, they didn't come to training camp for another month. And so we installed the offense and defense on Zoom. And so all that did was help me, going into this new league. And so it was a great learning experience for me.
Larry, I didn't know about Zoom either, so you're not alone, by the way, and we might be around the same age. What did you see in Blake Shain, even though he redshirted that 2020 season, that you now see with what they're doing now?
Blake's got that it factor. I mean, he's not the tallest guy in the room. He's not the fastest guy in the room, but let me tell you what, he's got it. And he can make all the throws. He's got a tremendous arm. And he's got that mentality that he can make every single throw. Nothing flusters him. He kind of stays calm and level-headed. But let me tell you what, he loves to win, and he just has a knack for putting the ball in there and making great plays.
How much of that is the shortstop in him, the baseball player that has to, those guys kind of think a little differently? They
do. Yeah, and the thing about it is you watch him, he can get the ball out of his hands so quickly. Which every offensive lineman in the country loves. When you can do that, you can get the ball out of your hands. And Blake can do that. He's a great processor. He can make quick decisions, and he can get the ball out. And that's going to be really good for Baylor's future.
You recruited him out of Evangel, correct?
Yeah, Sean Bell and myself, yes, that's correct.
What was that recruitment like? And just along the process of what you saw, other than what you just mentioned about his game?
Yeah, so we were late in the process on him. Obviously the way we got when we came in, and he was I think he was probably heading to USC, and so we had to do a lot of work there in a short period of time and spend some time with he and his parents and him, and they are just wonderful people. I mean, they really are. I believe they got a condo there in downtown Waco, so they can come and visit him and spend time with him, and it was really talking to him about what we were going to do offensively and how it fit his skill set and, what that was going to be like in the future for him.
Larry, there have been leagues that have tried to make it before that were not a part of the NFL. The USFL had a pretty good thing going back in the day, but it seems like sometimes they try to grow or expand too soon. And you've now finished the regular season. Now you start the playoffs in Canton, Ohio, which is cool as hell. What do you see about this league that actually will give this one a chance to sustain itself?
Well, first of all, it's got, we got a great TV package. I mean, we're Fox and NBC together. I mean, so every single game was on national TV. So all of them for all 8 teams, every game was on national TV. So financially, you have a solid financial backing. All the other leagues have failed because of that reason alone. And then on top of it, it's proven that this is a great space and a good market. A good area. I think there's no doubt. They've already told us that the league will be back next year. Mm-hmm. So I think it's been a success and in the inaugural year, and I think it's proven that it can be done.
What was it like to be in the same place playing all the games?
You know what? I mean, first of all, we're in training camp here for about 3 weeks. All 8 teams, all 8 staffs, all the players, all in the same hotel. Right? So that was a unique experience. And all the, organization that took in sharing meeting rooms and sharing practice spaces and buses and all of those things that go into play. Then you have the weather on top of it and rainouts and lightning and all the things that happen. It was a logistical nightmare. But the great thing is you got 7 other head coaches. It was a collaboration. Gerald Johnson did a great job of trying to organize things. And so we're going to, when we check out of this hotel on the 23rd before we go to Canton, I'll have been in the same hotel room for 100 days. So that's been kind of wild.
100 days.
100 days.
Yeah, that's almost like what the NBA did when they had the bubble down in Florida during you drafted Larry Rose. I don't think he made the roster. I could be wrong. He's from Fairfield High School. Great player. We loved him at New Mexico State. Okay. That's great.
Larry's still with us.
Tell me,
Larry's done a great job for us. He hasn't played probably as much as he would like. We've got some pretty dang good running backs, but Larry's been there right with us the whole way and done a heck of a job. I mean, he's my guy that I count on for a lot of things. I'll tell you that because I can put him all over the field. He plays on every special team. He knows what to do in every situation. So when we need Larry, we're able to throw him in there.
That's great because he's a great young man. We covered him at Fairfield, his record-breaking career at New Mexico State. So now you're in the playoffs, and you got there after the win against Tampa. It's in Canton, Ohio. How does that all work out, and how excited are you going to be up at that stadium?
Yeah, so we've got first of all, we've got one more game in the regular season, and then we will practice that week here of the playoffs up until Thursday. We'll practice Thursday morning. The 4 teams will jump on 2 planes and we'll head to Canton. And we will, probably do walkthroughs there the last day and play on Saturday. And then the 2 teams that get knocked out will fly home. The other 2 teams will stay there and prepare for the championship in the next week. So, I've never been to Canton. I've never been to the NFL Hall of Fame. So I'm extremely excited about seeing that and having that opportunity.
Well, Brock got about 8 hours of your day, Coach.
I mean, it's amazing.
You just get lost in there.
Yep. You will love it.
I'm looking forward to it.
You will love it. Larry, thank you for being a part. Congratulations on what you've done that first year with New Orleans and also some of the local connections, not just with you, but also players as well. Good luck. Thanks for the insight on the Blake Shapen and also what Baylor's been able to do. Thanks for your time, and good luck when you get to the playoffs.
Well, I appreciate it so much. You guys have a great day.
You too. Larry Fedora, New Orleans head coach, beat Tampa Bay, defensive struggle, forced 4 turnovers, and now we'll move on to the next round of the playoffs. I appreciate the insight that he gave us, and it was not a good year. 2020 was a disaster. That's why there were coaching changes. 2020 was awful. The offense was terrible, but I loved how he handled it and loved the fact he's moved on, but also the recruitment of Blake Shapen and what he saw when he did recruit him out of Evangel High School. Said if he wouldn't have been at Baylor, he might have been at USC, which is an interesting nugget as well.
Well, that was kind of, I don't know if it was known he was going to be at USC, but that was the other school. Like that was the other offer that he had. So, yeah, he was going to end up there if not at Baylor. And safe to say Louisiana and Waco are a little bit closer to home than Louisiana to Los Angeles. So maybe that played into their favor. But would have been interesting if he had gone out there and then the whole Caleb Williams thing happens as well, So it worked out well for Blake in the end. And, good to hear Coach Fedora. You never really know when they have a year like they had how that's going to, translate for somebody. But when you've been in the game as long as he has and has as many skins on the wall and jobs that he's had and all that, I mean, it's a coach's life, right? I mean, that's just what they do. They have good years, bad years. Sometimes bad years lead to you going somewhere else and doing something else, and that's what he's doing, and it seems to be just fine. So that's great to hear, and great to hear that there's no, ill will or anything like that. I know certainly Dave Aranda doesn't feel like, oh, man, I can't stand – no, it's all good. It just didn't work out one year, and now he's coaching in a league that's actually got maybe a future ahead of it. And he's getting ready for the playoffs, and Dave Aranda is a Big 12 and Sugar Bowl champ. So I don't think anybody's crying over spilt milk.
By the way, speaking of the USFL,